Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
It's nice to see you.
You too. We're missing our fearless co-host. She's somewhere in the Poconos snowboarding
Having the time of her life.
in the time of her life, living her best life. So Chelsea's on camera instead of, we're at the couch where she usually sits instead of me being over there and her being in the background laughing at Melissa.
That's true. I probably won't laugh as much today.
No.
So Melissa picked a good time to go to the Poconos because it's dumping snow right now.
Snowy day.
Probably great for snowboarding. If it's,
probably
I guess I don't know if it's snowing down there. But.
Definitely a good day for people around here with how bad of a winter it's been, how dry and not very snowy and rainy it's been. So hopefully she's getting in some good turns. So
Jake used to be a big snowboarder.
used to.
I actually think you said that before, right?
I don't know. I probably said that I'm retired. I just don't do it anymore, and our friends still do, and then I feel bad. But also, we live in the East Coast now, and it's not the same as being in Washington and having those mountains in your backyard. So, not a lot of snowboarding these days.
But. That's true. Actually, when we moved here from Washington, we didn't think that anyone would snowboard because there's no mountains here. And then we got here and everybody snowboards. All of our friends snowboard.
But then you see the conditions and it doesn't look as appealing as you would think.
It doesn't. It would be fun to do it, but the conditions, and also it's so expensive.
It's an expensive sport to do it in sub ideal conditions. Subpar conditions.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
But I think maybe our guest will have different opinions because
something to say about this.
Because like me, and why we probably get along is she also has hard opinions about things. Everything from probably skiing and music and pop culture to probably like apples. She's probably got like
she might have
hard opinions about apples somehow.
That's true, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Who has opinions about apples?
So we've been wanting to have her on, but then we had a spirited chat about apples. So then I was like, well, let's have you on and then we'll chat about life over some apples.
So who is it?
Her name is Izzy, and we've been friends with her for since we moved to New York. And there she is.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
How are you?
So good. So ready to talk opinions and apples, most importantly.
I like that background. Did Matt do that?
He did.
It's good.
Good. It's very bright. Got a little snow reflection going on.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, did you hear what we were talking about when you came on about snowboarding?
No, but yeah, I did.
Have you, because you ski, right?
Yeah.
Have you skied anywhere other than North Jersey?
So nothing past the East Coast.
Nothing past the East Coast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think of people who don't like the Northeast for skiing because they grew up somewhere else?
I respect it. I think that the Northeast has a lot of things about it that make it special and unique, but our mountains are not one of them.
Yeah.
I agree.
But also if you grew up with Mountain Creek in your backyard.
Yeah.
And I feel like no matter where you're from, if that's your home mountain, you're always going to love that mountain.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think even beyond like loving it, I think skiing in powder, like when we do have a lot of snow, is really difficult for me because we grew up in icy conditions. Mm-hmm. It's mostly synthetic snow out here because the winters are unpredictable. So I don't think that I would necessarily have the skills, nor would I enjoy skiing in fresh powder. Mm-hmm. It like is painful for me.
Wow.
You would think that, but then if you went somewhere where there was powder and it was soft and it was light and it was fluffy and it wasn't like wet, you would probably realize how great it is.
So I have skied fresh powder. It dumped like 2 feet of snow, and I went skiing like on untouched slopes. It was so fun, but I was in so much pain just because I didn't develop the muscles I needed to control it,
Yeah.
to control my descent in fresh powder. So, I mean, I think that whatever kind of conditions you're used to, your body will probably just naturally, oh, I'm used to this. I enjoy this a little bit more, at least in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you.
I mean, we didn't have a ton. Washington gets good snow, but it's not like it's always powdery. It's not like Utah or Colorado, I feel like.
It's just a different snow.
Yeah.
Like Utah is a lighter, more like fluffy snow, where Washington's a little wetter. So it's a thicker powder, but when it's good, it's good. And they do get a lot of snow. It's just everywhere's kind of different. And Washington's probably a little bit of a wetter, heavier
Yeah.
snow, but not like here when it rains or when it snows and it's like 32 degrees, but
Yeah. Then it's slush the next day.
a little heavy quick.
But it does feel different. You're right.
Yeah.
I had said the other night that I think Fuji's were the best apples, and you
Yeah.
made a strong case for the Pink Lady.
I did. I did. After you guys left, I had the chance to survey the other guests at the gathering.
Oh yeah. What did they say?
Not a single person held my opinion, and I was shocked by that. I was completely. They said Honeycrisp and Fuji. Those were the two.
Oh, Honey Crisps aren't like I thought I got Fuji's one time and I got Honey Crisps,
Yeah.
and the way they taste with like peanut butter and salt, which like I told you the other night, apples are just like a vessel to give me peanut butter and salt. The Honey Crisp ruined that experience.
Okay, but I will say that being said, I was buying Honeycrisp apples for you for a while because he wasn't complaining about them and I thought he liked them. He never said a word. So I kept buying them. And then one day he said, like, I don't like these apples. They're too sweet.
Yeah.
I keep buying them for you because I thought that you liked
It
them.
takes a while for me to complain about something. You're like, "Oh, that wasn't a good apple. Maybe the next one."
I think I bought them because ShopRite must have been out of Fuji. Like I usually just grab a bag of organic Fuji apples, but they must have been out. And then I was like, oh, he must like these. He didn't say anything.
He's just patiently waiting for a good apple to appear in the bush. Like, wow, all these apples are so bad.
Like, why are the apples so bad?
But I am intrigued by the Pink Lady because I don't know that I've ever had one.
So I did a little research as to why the pink ladies are like what makes them so special. And it's that they're not at all native to, well, actually, no apple other than the crab apple is native to the US. Fun fact.
Oh,
But they have to be grown in a really hot climate. So they're often grown in Australia.
Oh,
And
Mm.
I think so is the Fuji. The
Oh.
Fuji is also imported from places like Australia, somewhere that's like forever hot.
Mm.
okay, but they're not always imported, right?
No, well,
Because this says on it. So for all of you listeners, we actually have. Did you get apples, Izzy?
I only had the one because of the snowstorm.
That's okay. So Jake last night went and got 5 different types of apples.
Oh, so smart.
So we have Pink Lady, Sweet Tango.
Yes.
it's called a Cosmic Crisp or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I've ever had that. Honey Crisp, which we know how you feel about that. Granny Smith.
Good. Yeah.
Are good
That's like the
for-
trash apple. Didn't we talk about the other night that you didn't like
No,
Granny?
she said Red Delicious, I think.
Oh,
I
red.
said Red Delicious is like the control. That's a bad apple. I think that there's a case for Granny Smith. I don't know.
Oh,
I do
what?
like Granny Smith, but they're more sour.
So
Honestly.
every time you bite into a Granny Smith, it tastes the same. It is. Bob said this. I surveyed him. He said Granny Smith was his favorite because of the consistency.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So we're gonna try these apples.
Consistency.
All right. Okay. I have some criteria.
Okay, what's your criteria?
I think that there should be 3 categories, right?
Right.
Sweet, tangy, and crispy,
Okay.
right? Because that's what makes a good apple. But depending on the apple and the levels,
So a good apple has to have a good ratio?
a good ratio. Like what scores the highest? What has 5 out of 5 on each account?
Granny Smith isn't bad, but it's like tart. It's like
Yeah.
super tart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
But it tastes like a Granny Smith, right? Like there's
Yeah.
no saying like that's a bad Granny Smith. It's just a Granny Smith.
no, it's just a Granny Smith.
Yeah,
It tastes fine.
and I do like how crisp it is.
Yeah.
But aren't these really good for pies?
Yeah, they're awesome for pies.
So I don't think of just snacking on a Granny Smith. I think of baking with Granny Smith.
Yeah.
You know, I like them as a vessel as well for peanut butter. I think that the sweetness of peanut butter actually. Oh, look, you guys are so prepared.
Right.
Jake's gonna try it because this is his favorite way to eat apples.
I think it goes well with the peanut butter.
I think there's like an overpowering dirt taste to Granny Smith that I'm
Really?
not. Yeah.
I can kind of see where you're coming from. It's almost a little potatoy,
Yeah.
like a raw potato kind of.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. See, I like that. I don't mind a raw potato, which is like.
Also- Oh, you do? How do you eat a raw potato?
So it's not that I eat a raw potato, okay? It's that sometimes when I'm baking potatoes or like chopping them up and roasting them, I get one that's like not fully cooked. And I
Um,
don't mind. I don't mind that taste.
It has the texture of that.
Yeah, of kind of an uncooked potato.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not getting. What did you say? Earthy?
dirt.
Dirt. I'm
Just
not.
dirt.
I'm not getting.
I said dirt.
I'm not getting.
What's your favorite thing to bake? Do you bake with apples or do you bake something else?
You know, I'm not really much of a baker. I'll say I enjoy a muffin. I like making morning glory muffins.
Oh yeah, you're more like Italian. So like you make Italian food, pastas and
Yeah, I'm more. I prefer cooking to baking. Are you guys bakers?
no. Well, Chelsea
I kind of like baking,
Chelsea likes to bake.
but it has to be like. I'm only motivated to bake things that are like healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not. I love sweets, but if I'm gonna make it for myself, I want it to be sweetened with maple syrup or honey, and have like it doesn't have to be gluten free, but I like that option.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not.
She's like, you know what these brownies need? Black beans.
Sneak an avocado in the place of an egg.
I don't know. I just like stuff like that because I feel like I get enough sweets outside of making. I don't need to make stuff like that for myself.
I know what you mean. When I'm baking, I think that it gives me a little bit too much insight into all the like bad things that are in my favorite treats. So I don't want to know. I want to buy it and not know what goes into it. I don't want to know how much butter or how much sugar is in there.
And then it feels like that's like a true treat if you go to
Yes.
get something versus at home. Like I love to eat something sweet in the morning. It's my favorite way to wake up.
Yes, I know
If I
this.
don't have something sweet, I have a hard time getting out of bed. The true addiction. But if I make it, I want it to be like on the healthier side because I'm gonna eat it for breakfast most likely.
So apples are like a natural addition, like a little apple crumble for breakfast.
I should.
That's like
Yeah, you're right.
I don't like like apple pie, apple crisp. It's not something I would ever choose. Ever. Like any of that.
what about a turnover?
No.
Really?
It doesn't like
I like a cold apple cut up, smothered in peanut butter with salt. That's it. And maybe just an apple by itself.
I know people can be sensitive about like cooked fruit. So some people hate pie because they hate the texture of soft and, mushy fruit.
Yeah. If it's supposed to be crisp, like I love carrots, but I like when they're like cooked carrots and they're like mushy. It's not really I don't like it.
so
Okay.
because you said that apples are your favorite fruit.
Oh yeah.
What makes apples your favorite fruit?
I think it's the variety in them. And New York is known for their apples. Even though I'm from New Jersey, I live close enough that I can get New York apples. No one ever talks about New Jersey apples, and there might be a reason for that. We don't know.
That's true. You grew up surrounded by, so same because we're from Washington.
Yeah.
That's also a fun fact. Washington and New York are the number 2 producers of growers of apples in the country.
Wow.
But so I think it did the opposite for me growing up.
Oh, it pushed you
apples,
away.
like so readily available. It was kind of like that's the boring fruit. And I think honestly, this is probably a funny thing to say, but an apple a day keeps the doctor away. That saying always made me think an apple was like not fun to eat.
Oh man, it was like medicine.
Yes.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, I feel like it did the opposite for me because apples were always something to look forward to. Not that like we went apple picking as kids. We didn't really go apple picking, but we would just get local. You know what? At the hall there was an apple tree, and we would go picking there. So we would make a pie from that apple tree like every year.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
So there is like a little bit of a
Nostalgia.
nostalgia,
nostalgia there.
emotional connection to it for sure.
Hmm.
Okay, so which one did you just try?
That's the Cosmic Crisp
Also known as Sweet Tango.
Sweet Tango.
What did you think?
Was that one the one like the little bag, like the little snappers bag?
No, I went to, it was just in the ShopRite, like open apple section.
Okay, so this one's a little mushier.
It's mushy.
Yeah. It's not as crispy as the name would suggest.
No.
Yeah. I don't think they're very tart either.
It's not
Not
tart.
as tart though. And not super sweet, kind of right in the middle.
Kind of like a 2 across the board.
Yeah. Did you say it already? Like where you land on the tart versus sweet? Do you like a sweet apple? Or do you like a
You know, I think that if I had to choose, I would go with a tart apple. But I think when you try the Pink Lady, you'll see what I mean when I say I like it to be pretty strong across the board. I
Okay.
like tart and sweet to be both a little bit on the higher end for a punchy flavor.
Oh, okay. I want to try it last because that's what you have, right?
I've hyped it up too much. You guys are like gonna
Is that
hate
what
this.
you have?
That's the one I have.
All right,
So
we'll try that
I
last.
want to do it last. So the next one is Honey Crisp.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know what that one tastes like.
I just know it's really sweet, right?
Yeah, Matt loves a Honey Crisp. To be fair, they are very, very crisp. That is nice.
Okay. So there are 5 on the crisp scale.
Mm.
Yeah, I could hear that crunch from all the way over here.
That's pretty good.
I like what you said, Apple ASMR.
Yeah.
This one's
Leaning close to the mic.
this one's not as sweet as some of the ones I've had.
Yeah, this is actually a
It's pretty
bit
solid.
tart.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna try Fuji, which is Jake's favorite just for peanut butter.
I think the Fuji is the best.
Fuji's are Japanese, I think. They're like a temperate apple.
Yeah. See?
Immediately so much happier.
They do have a thick, what do you call it? Skin.
Yeah.
They have a thicker skin. And they aren't as flavorful.
Where do they rank on the sweetness?
They're not super sweet though. I think they're the perfect vessel for peanut butter and salt.
It's almost like a cracker.
Yeah.
But
It's like a
like-
cracker.
This is classic apple taste to me.
Okay.
Like I love Wheat Thins and Triscuits, and they're not super great, but they're perfect for putting stuff on.
They're a vessel.
It's
Yeah.
very,
yeah.
they're very like neutral
I'm seeing a pattern here.
and very vanilla.
So maybe I would love apples more if I didn't only eat Fuji.
Maybe you would.
Because I'm not like, oh, you know what I want to eat right now? An apple.
Would you?
But maybe if I bought like Pink Ladies,
Yeah.
I did really like the Honey Crisp actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now your favorite.
What shows you watching right now?
What shows? Oh man, this is like I'm gonna be exposed really bad here. So they just added like my childhood comfort show to Hulu, so I'm binge watching it.
Which one?
Whoa.
It got canceled in the 3rd season. It's like a kid show called Kyle XY.
I've heard of that. I don't think I've
It's
ever.
really oh hold on, wait, I want to hear it. You guys took bites.
This is the Pink Lady.
Yes. Actually, it's super full of flavor.
Right?
That's pretty good.
Sweetness, like 5. Tartness, like 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. This is definitely the most flavorful.
Wait, let me get the peanut butter.
This is where it's all gonna go downhill for me, I think.
Wait, let me do this right. Can I get the salt too? I brought Icelandic salt too for this.
Oh my goodness, this is the bougiest apple tasting.
Yeah. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it.
Is that what you usually put on?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Right?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Pink Lady might be the winner.
You might have convinced me.
Let me try it.
Whoa.
Let me try it with the peanut butter. Do you ever eat it with peanut butter?
I do, but honestly, I'm a purist. This is a naked apple right now, and I'm loving it.
Is that like, is putting peanut butter on an apple like putting like ice in a wine glass or something?
No, no, I could never say that because Matt eats it with like a cup of peanut butter, and I
Yeah.
feel like that would be like blasphemy against my own spouse. I appreciate peanut butter apple, but I do tend to eat it just plain, maybe a little cinnamon. A little.
Oh, cinnamon.
Yeah. You know what? I'll also eat it in yogurt. If it's breakfast, I'll eat it in yogurt.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Or like on oatmeal. I love apple with oatmeal.
Yeah, yeah. I like to stew them a little bit, like on the stove. Mm.
Chelsea will do overnight oats and she'll put cut up apple in it
It's so
and
Mhm.
with like the brown sugar and everything and the blueberries. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's what my mom does.
I would have said a lot of times that apple was like my least favorite fruit, but I think
Wow.
he eats it every day.
I think I eat them every day now with the peanut butter. And then you just opened my eyes to pink ladies. So
Yeah, I think of all of those, honestly, the Honey Crisp and the Pink Lady were the best ones.
yeah.
Whoa, I wasn't expecting this outcome. I was expecting that I was gonna have to defend myself a lot more.
No, I think Fuji and honey and pink lady, not the honey crisp, but
You like those two.
yeah.
And I will say, like, I the Sweet Tango, what was it called? Cosmic,
Mhm.
is a little mushier, but I don't mind that. I don't mind the like mealiness of it. I didn't
What do you
mind-
guys think about Macintosh?
I don't know
I
that
don't
I've
know.
had one. But I was looking at like a scale of like tart to sweet, and Macintosh was farther on the tart side, I think.
Yeah, Macintosh. So Chelsea, you were saying that like the Fuji, that's like your classic apple.
Mhm.
The Macintosh tastes exactly how every apple candle smells.
Oh, okay.
Like that is like the pinnacle apple in terms of appleness, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They're super good, but they are also on the mealy side. They got kind of that thicker skin. They're
Mhm.
kind of soft, but similar to the Granny Smith, they're very like you're not gonna get a Macintosh that doesn't taste exactly the same. They
Okay.
all taste like super consistent.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's so interesting. I don't even like if you had asked me to name off apple varieties, I would not have thought of Macintosh.
Really? That's the laptop. That's like a Mac.
I wouldn't have thought of that. That's so funny. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever, not that I recall, have had
Not that I
one.
can think of. But I'm just getting into the Apple game. I'm new. I'm fresh.
You'll get there. You'll get there. You'll have all the names, all the varietals listed off in your head. I was thinking about the local apples that I like too. I wasn't sure how deep we were gonna go into the apple lore.
I think we've gone pretty deeper than I thought.
So what is your favorite fruit? Is it raspberries? Or
It's
apples?
raspberry. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I like all berries, but raspberry, and then I eat a lot of bananas. I like bananas a lot.
Mm. You know, bananas actually are berries, technically.
Huh.
Really?
They are.
Weird.
Did you know apples are in the rose family?
You know, I did not know that.
Yes, I read that 10 minutes before we got on.
Quick research.
Interesting apple facts, and I found that they're in the rose family.
You know, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Maybe it's because they're like the rose of the fruit world.
Mm,
I'll
Like-
take it. And
Roses
I mean, rose hips are kind of round like apples.
and roses are like, you know, kind of a generic flower when you think of flowers. Like
but you put some
A
peanut butter
rose.
on it.
You put peanut butter on a rose. It's delicious.
apples are kind of generic for fruit. It's just like a generic, if you think of fruit. And to me, like generic fruit is like apple, banana, orange. Like,
Yeah. I can understand. So, you know, I'm not really a big citrus person,
Mm,
which is like, I realize that a lot of people have strong feelings on citrus.
I like lime. I love lime. Lime's just
Yeah.
great with everything.
Yeah. Okay, lime, but I mean, I guess as a fruit, you know, like a tangerine mandarin situation. I'm not really in the orange peeling. Any fruit that I have to peel to eat, I'm not really a big fan of.
do you like pomegranates?
It's too much work.
Yeah.
Too much work.
Too
I
much work for like seeds to
Love-
eat like
Yeah.
seeds.
I love pomegranates. They're one of my favorite fruit.
Really?
Yeah.
So, okay, what's your favorite fruit, Chelsea?
It probably depends on the season. I love I like get so excited when I start seeing pomegranates in the store in the
Mhm.
fall. In the summer, I love watermelon. I could
Yeah.
eat watermelon every day. Um, what we usually have in the house, berries, oranges, bananas, apples. Again, generic, like
Yeah.
classic.
Generic fruits.
Um, that's kind of what we always have, avocados.
Because we juice a lot. So in the morning,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like an apple and a banana and berries in a juice
Yeah.
with peanut butter.
With peanut butter in the juice.
Yeah.
But I also love like if you're if you're in Costa Rica
Mm.
and they're serving you like fresh papaya in the
Yeah.
morning, like this is the best thing ever. But then I don't come home and buy papaya or like
Yeah.
we always make this isn't are plantains fruit?
I mean, I would think of them as like a banana, like in the banana fam.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably a berry, like a banana.
They have seeds.
So like when we go to Nicaragua, Jake makes tostones a lot.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
we buy plantains every time we go to the store. We never buy them here. We never
Yeah.
make them here.
But
Like
it's
so I
like-
think there are certain things that I like in certain places.
Context, yeah.
Or like a coconut on the beach is so good. I don't
Yeah.
crave that here ever.
No, the
Oh.
coconuts are so sad here. They're already husked.
Oh yeah. Speaking of traveling, where do you have any plans to go anywhere, or where do you want to go? Like, what would be ideal spot for? Like, is it warm? Is it cold? Is it beach? Is it?
Ooh, in terms of like somewhere that we really want to go. I'm feeling a little bit warm. I think Matt really wants to go to Canada for our anniversary.
Hmm.
He really wants to do Quebec for our anniversary.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say like Banff.
So, you know about our tragedy in Banff, right? That was like the saddest. No? So we were supposed to go to Banff earlier this year on our camping cross country road trip.
Oh.
We had like a camping spot picked and all that. We had it all booked. But then there was fires right outside the national parks. So it was smoky, it was freezing, and it was raining. It was like the perfect trifecta. So we just decided to stay in Washington and not go up to Canada. It was so sad.
That is a bummer.
Hmm.
I know. Got that. We were most excited for Banff
Yeah.
because that's like the dream to go camping there.
So this year he wants to do Quebec instead.
Yeah, I think he wants to do Quebec this year. I don't think anywhere else exciting this year other than, I mean, that's probably the biggest trip that we would take.
Like Quebec City, like right there. In,
Yeah. Yeah. You guys did you do Quebec or was it Montreal that you went to?
We,
No.
I really want to go to Quebec City.
We did
I haven't
Montreal.
done that yet.
Yeah, in 22, and then we came back. We went back last year, and we wanted to do like a big loop of like Montreal, Quebec City.
Prince Edward
Or
Island.
no, this is the first year. We wanted to do Prince Edward Island, and Crystal was like 6 months pregnant, and she's like, "You want me to sit in a car for
How long?
16 hours?"
That would be a lot. She was right.
And I'm pregnant, and they're like, "All right, let's go to Montreal."
But that still is like that would be such a fun, and then come down
Yes.
Yeah.
and come back. And you have to take a little bit of time, but I would love to do that.
Yeah, PEI is awesome.
Yeah.
We used to go up that way when we were kids for like family vacation.
Hmm.
We went to go see the Anne of Green Gables estate
Yeah.
Hmm.
on PEI, and it was the most magical experience
Aw.
because they chose actors that looked exactly like the people from the movies. It was like the most amazing thing.
How old are you?
Oh, definitely single digits. I was young, but I have very strong memories. We took a carriage ride. It was so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I wonder if it would be as magical as a 39-year-old.
I almost guarantee yes, it would.
I really want to do that. Like that, I loved those movies growing up, and I've always wanted to go to Prince Edward Island because of them.
Did you guys watch the new series?
No,
What was it called? Like Anne with an E or something like that?
Yeah.
I've never watched or seen any of it or read any of it, so I don't really know what the whole story is, any of it. But
Wow. If you go to PEI, you have to watch it.
I'm watching Arrested Development again right now.
Speaking of funky things. Yeah, Anne with the Knee was terrible, but I'm watching Arrested Development. We were rewatching that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now I'm like back on my ABC dramas.
Where were you on the new Arrested Development? Because I didn't watch the 2 new seasons because I heard they were, or I watched like the first 2 episodes and it seemed so dumb I stopped watching it. But then we were just talking to a friend and he said they get pretty good.
Yeah. So they Netflix like remixed them because the reception was so bad, right?
Right.
So I tried it originally and it was awful, and I don't think I got past the first episode. Like you. Oh, that was a cat. Um, and then I tried again with the remix, and I still didn't make it through
Oh,
the
wow.
full season. I couldn't do it. It was not funny anymore, in my opinion.
I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try.
I hope you're strong enough. I hope you're stronger than we
I'll
were.
let you know.
What do you think about a Michael Sarah's collaboration with CeraVe?
So I saw like on Twitter there was like a video of him passing it out like before the Super Bowl, like
Yeah.
just not like a week before the Super Bowl, him just like on the streets passing it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw the commercial during the Super Bowl where it was like um it did what they say, like it didn't originate with Michael Cera, it originated with professionals or doctors or
Yeah, scientists. Yeah.
scientists. I thought it was pretty funny. Like
Mm-hmm.
I missed it.
I don't even know what CeraVe is though. What is it?
Mm,
Like a lotion?
like lotion and face wash and stuff like that. They have like a pretty good following. It's super popular because it's pretty budget friendly.
Hmm.
Um, what I really liked about that campaigning was that they started with small influencers.
Oh,
Hmm.
So like I was getting a lot for weeks before the Super Bowl. I was getting weird CeraVe like videos on my Instagram reels. I was
yeah.
getting recommended to me, and it was these influencers that I already watched and liked, but they were doing like conspiracy theories about Michael Cera and like why is he doing this? Interviews with Michael Cera. Are you claiming to be the developer of CeraVe? It was super funny, and I didn't know that the Super Bowl was going to be the end goal. So when that popped up, it like all made sense, and I actually really liked that marketing campaign.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is cool.
right?
Yeah.
I feel like we
I
could
didn't
have a
think about
longer
that.
conversation about your thoughts on like both of your thoughts on advertising and like influencing and how that all goes and what you feel about.
That's true.
Why? Because we work for one.
'Cause I mean, yeah, but like that's why we're gonna have her on at some point too, because it's like that is kind of a way, like a new way to advertise.
So, for the listeners' sake, Izzy and I actually also work together. So we're not
Yeah.
only friends, but we work together.
Because there is like a new way to advertise, and it's not through like traditional means. It's almost like news and media as well. Like there's new ways to get information and get um, products and things like that. So that's kind of an interesting topic as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
do-
I actually do have thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I have an opinion.
I actually do too. Now that he's talking about it, like I'm understanding more of what he's thinking. And I do have thoughts and opinions.
All right, so you both work in that world a little bit with an influencer and modern advertising. So like what do you think of stuff like that, like the Michael Cera stuff and what that can open up for people that are not like famous, or I don't know if that's the right way to put it. People being able to like advertise and have a career. I don't know. I don't really know that world very well.
Yeah, what do you think is?
I think that it's kind of I mean, I think obviously it's very cool, and it opens up a lot of opportunities for people that never would have had a voice or a platform to share their opinions on. So like that's the whole beauty of influencers, or the whole general idea of influencers, right? That they're like everyday people, and these are the things that they love and they want to tell you because you're their friend. You follow them. And I think that that's kind of cool. Um I think it's awesome that people can make money that way. That's like it's so accessible and it's so entry level. All the skills that you need to learn are you could be self-taught. What are you doing?
He wants
For,
to be a podcast star.
It's
for
like
our listeners. My two cats are terrorizing me.
Melissa's cat's always in the background, so
Yeah.
we're used to
Oh,
it.
really? Okay.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I personally, because I know like a lot of jokes can be made about influencers and people kind of talking down on it or negative about it. I love getting things recommended to me by others. Like I don't
Yeah.
buy anything on Amazon without looking at reviews. I won't
Yeah.
even look at it if it gets poor reviews. So, or consider it. So for people, I mean, they're not people I know, but they're people that you follow that you kind of do get to know. And they do say like it's kind of selling your personality in a way,
Yeah.
because you get people to trust you and then they are willing to buy what you are selling.
Yeah.
And I like it. Like I like, and I think this has been like, how long would you say it's been since that's become like a main, like companies are now devoting a huge part of their marketing budget to influencers versus
Yeah.
commercials or,
Oh,
advertisements like that.
just since the pandemic, I would say that they're like really, that the shift has been super noticeable.
Yeah. And I think when we were building our van,
Yeah.
this is the first time I remember being like grateful for an influencer because we were looking at so many different things, buying so many different things for our van build. And then I was like, oh, I need just to live in it, I need to find certain items.
Yeah.
And I remember I was looking for dishes because I wanted just like 4 dishes for our van. And one of the influencers I follow posted about dishes that were super cheap that she bought on Amazon. They were exactly what I was looking for. And I was like, oh my gosh, she saved me all the trouble of going out and trying to find research dishes. I was just really grateful that she recommended those. And I bought them from her link as soon as I saw that she recommended them. And it was like, check that off my list, done, don't have to think about it. And I'll never forget that because I think it was that moment that I'm like, I actually really appreciate people doing this. Like
Yeah.
finding products for you, recommending them, and then you do build trust in that person for what they recommend because it is kind of a brand that they're building in a way. And so there's a few people that I follow that pretty much everything they recommend, I'm like, okay, I'll try it
Yeah.
if I can. If it's
Yeah.
like, I don't buy everything, but I'm kind of grateful for it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do think that like it's an easy thing to kind of make fun of or laugh about, but Chelsea's kind of like made points that are pretty valid. Like, would you rather like wouldn't you want your friends to make, well, how did you put it? Like your friends can make money doing this, and the money's going to your friends and not just to some like big company, or a
Yeah.
portion of it's going to your friends. So it's
Yeah.
like, wouldn't you want to support your friends if they had a business and they're recommending things? So there's like that aspect of it. And two, we're all kind of like influenced by things. Like I make fun of influencers, but like everything I have or every brand I like is somehow tied back to like a punk band or a certain person that I like their style, and they're not influencing me from like being like, hey guys, I just want to tell you about this new shirt that I really like. But
I've
they're
been
wearing
so
that shirt.
excited.
They're wearing a shirt, and then I'm like, I like that shirt. I want to get that shirt.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we're all influenced by stuff. It's just when someone comes on, even if, especially if it's like a friend and they're like putting themselves out there on Instagram, part of it is like easy to make fun of, but part of it's like if you like their style or if you like what they like, then why not?
Or if you trust their opinion or advice on something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's true. Like if we had a friend that owned a brick and mortar store that sold stationery or something like that, every time we needed to buy stationery, we would want to support them. We would be like, oh, I'm going to go to their store and spend my money there because it's giving them, they're benefiting from it. And it's kind of the same thing, except for what I appreciate, what I think is cool about it too is like affiliate links. They don't, anyone can, not anyone, but a lot of businesses now have affiliate programs that you can sign up for. It doesn't cost anybody any extra. Like if I have an affiliate link that I send to you, it doesn't cost you any more money to buy that product. but I make 10% on the back end or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And that's supporting me. So to me, it's like, why wouldn't you do that? Where people kind of can have a more negative view. But I almost wonder if it's just because it's new and we're not super used to it. It's just now becoming more mainstream, so people are getting more used to it, and maybe it is easy to make fun of. Like, I'm just gonna hop on here and tell you all about my latest thing. Like, it is easy to make fun of, but at the end of the day, we all benefit from it.
But also, so is being on, making a podcast and being on talking about
Stuff like this.
apples and Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
We do it.
Yeah.
So then to make fun of someone who's like advertising clothes or something, you're like, well, we just talked about apples for 20 minutes. So.
I think it is. It's just getting like, I remember when I first realized how much YouTubers make, I was blown away. Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah.
And literally anyone can become a YouTuber. You just have to put the work into it.
That's what's cool.
And there are certain things that they recommend you do if you actually want to make a living out of it. But it's like, that is a relatively new thing. And I think for a lot of people, it's hard to wrap their minds around. Like, this isn't, for younger people, it's not like, this is what they've grown up with.
Yeah,
But for older people, it's like, that doesn't seem like a legitimate job.
Yeah.
But it totally is.
Oh yeah, there's so much work that's involved in it.
Yeah.
I think for anything where you need to put yourself out there, like that's what's easy. That's like low hanging fruit for someone to make fun of it. You know, if you're sharing your opinions, like, oh, I'm on a podcast. Like, oh, what makes you think people are going to want to listen to you? Like that's the thing. That's the same thing with influence. What makes you think people care what you think? Like, I feel like that's the most common reaction that people have. But I do care. I totally care what the influencers that I follow think.
Yeah.
I think that it's such a cool job for people to have, and there's so much work that you put into it on the back end that people don't see. And it really is a skill. You're developing your people skills, you're developing like your sales ability. I do feel like the thing that influencers in general can run a risk with is like overconsumption. Like, I watched the most obnoxious Amazon clothing haul today, and it genuinely made me angry how many like cheap little pieces of clothing. She was like, oh, I'm obsessed with this, I'm obsessed with this. Are you obsessed with it? Are you really upset? You just opened this package 30 seconds ago, you're obsessed, even though you just opened up 3 that look identical. Like, that's what's triggering.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I think it's such an amazing platform to have, but you have to be responsible with it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think that eventually those types will kind of fall off because people don't like it. Like, the more people do it and do it in a way that's appealing, then the ones that are annoying are going to be less viable, or they're going to have to change how they do it. Because if they're just saying they're obsessed with everything, then then that's just going to get old.
And you can't really, like, I know the ones that I follow, I trust their opinion because they kind of are building their own brand in a way. They're and putting their stamp of approval on something, and so they care a lot more about the companies that they work with, do partnerships with, or even products. Like, you know, beauty influencers get PR all the time, but the ones who actually sift through it and pick out the things that are really good and they have legitimate opinions on and reasons why they like it, and they can sell you on that, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued. And then if I buy 1 or 2 things that they recommend and I love it, then I'm more inclined to come back and buy more. Where that's completely different to me than somebody who's just like,
I love it, oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I'm gonna love every single thing that I buy and tell you about all of it. It's like, I don't know if I trust that person, but I definitely trust the person that's putting the work into it and developing that brand on their own.
But to say brand is hard because you are kind of like a curator. You're not like a brand. Like, someone else is the brand. You're taking one of their things, and then it's like it's sort of making it your own when it's not. And so I think there can be like a level of making fun of it because it's like you're just taking from it's like you're taking everyone else's idea putting it
Mm.
together and
But
being
there
like,
really are no.
this is my brand. But there are people that have, there's been curators forever that have stores,
Yeah.
sell stuff from all these different people.
Museums. Yeah.
But I think it's just it's almost like you're becoming the face for your audience. You're the face of that company. And then it's easy to be like, you don't have anything to do with Dove or something.
Yeah.
But it is like you are.
But I think that's what companies are turning into. I think that's why
Yeah.
they're voting so much, because they see the value in this. Like, people would rather buy from someone they know, or
Right, because
trust,
the
I should
alternative is
say.
like
Yeah.
if it's like a famous person who's getting paid like millions of dollars to do a 30-second ad, and like that's legitimate, but someone who's putting in all the work to try to make graphics and do all this stuff and putting out videos on Instagram for the same product, hoping that people buy it because they only make anything if people buy it, like that's more admirable too, I guess, than like,
It carries more weight for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe brand is the wrong word, but
No, I think it's right.
I think like there's one influencer I follow, she doesn't use her name, she uses her blog name for everything. And to me, that is her brand. Like,
Yeah.
she's not saying I'm Sarah James, like she's using her name, or
Yeah.
sorry, her blog, her company name is what she's
Yeah.
using. And she's created this company, and
Yeah.
she's selling, influencing, promoting other products that are not ones she makes. But I do feel like if you're building that up, like a next logical step would be to come out with your own skincare line if you're a beauty influencer. And
Yeah.
she could take that name and put that on her skincare line, and we would all know that's her
That's her brand.
her
Yeah.
brand. So it kind of is, in a sense.
Oh,
And
personal branding is totally a thing. Yeah.
And it's also like we always have talked about like supporting small businesses,
Mhm.
or like that's the goal, support local businesses.
Yeah.
The new local business is probably like influencing or curating and then advertising these products in a way that someone who likes your style can. So that's like the new small business, because everything's Amazon now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah, it's just like adjusting mindsets, I guess, to that. I'll probably still make fun of it for a while.
I see. The thing is, I know you love this influencer, the Tin Fish Reviews. She's an influencer. The
Who?
Tin Fish Review girl.
I don't know who that is.
Who's that?
What?
I don't know who
We
that
had
is.
this conversation
No.
about the Tin Fish Reviews.
Did we talk about this?
The tinned fish.
Yeah,
Tinned
I mean,
fish.
okay, remind me of this conversation, because it's kind of coming back to me, because I
This
love.
was like a landmark conversation for me. It
Hey, with me or with Chelsea?
Yeah.
it was with Jake.
Oh,
I think Chelsea was there, but we were talking about the Tin Fish Reviews. How you've been watching this, like, and she's an influencer. She's a tin fish influencer.
you
I
don't
don't know if
remember?
that was me.
It was for sure you.
Oh, God.
Wait, who is it? Because he can pull it up and look at it.
Tin Fish Reviews.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's his name. 10 Fish Reviews.
Tin Fish Reviews. Let me hold on. Who else could I have possibly been talking? This is gonna be embarrassing if this wasn't you.
But I could get into this because
But I could get into this.
we're both big 10 Fish consumers.
we are. It's such a funny, like, it is kind of a niche thing, because
Yeah.
so many people do not like tin. And when you open up a can, it's like you can tell instantly whether someone likes it or not. And
Yeah.
most people do not respond favorably when you open up sardines.
That
They're very,
is
like,
true.
sardine forward for sure. And mackerel.
You're macro forward.
A whole episode on
Oh,
tin fish.
we could do a whole just 10 Fish review.
Oh man.
When you go to like small towns in New York and stuff, like those little towns with like a main street, and then the market will always sell like
Some tin
like
fish.
different tin
Bougie,
fish.
yeah.
But they're always
Yeah.
12, 15 bucks a can,
Mhm.
and it's just like feels so much to get. Where do you land?
I know. For something in a can, yeah.
Where do you land on anchovies?
Oh, I love anchovies.
Yeah,
I love it.
just
You know
raw, just
N-
out of the can.
No, I'm not insane. I like I like them in like a whipped butter with sourdough.
Oh,
Like
Oh.
an anchovy butter with like
Yes.
really flaky salt.
Yeah,
we had that probably one of the best meals of our life in
Right.
Los Angeles. And
With-
we got,
With Ryan, who was on the pod, the music pod,
yeah,
Oh.
his wife and son, and we went to this restaurant called the Drunk Octopus or something like that.
yeah, I don't
I
remember
don't
the
know
name
what
of
it's
it.
called. And for dessert, we ordered for an appetizer the anchovy
It was that.
with
It was,
bread with salt and butter. And then for dessert, we just ordered that again because it was so good.
we
Did
wanted,
you really?
It
yeah,
was so good.
we wanted more of it. And we're like, we need to have this again. It was amazing. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Right.
had that for we did like an 8-course dinner for our anniversary
Mhm.
last year in the city. We went to the most amazing restaurant, and that was my favorite course.
Mhm.
It was just sourdough and anchovy butter. Oh
I
my
think
goodness.
we can make that at home. Like,
So easily.
Why
That was the thing,
not
but I've
do
never
that?
done it.
Did
Yeah.
they chop up the anchovies or was it like strips on top of the butter?
It was like whipped in.
Oh,
It was like really well integrated.
okay.
Yeah. What was yours?
I think ours was, you
Ours
put-
was strips. Like they had like fresh anchovies on the side, and then you put it on top of the
Yeah.
bread, and it was super good. But I'll just open up a can and just eat them raw.
Whoa, you're
Or
hardcore.
avocado
Yeah, he
toast
is.
on top of avocado toast. That's really good.
Wow. Yeah, you need to get into tin fish reviews. Maybe this was a sign that this is like your next influencer thing. Like you
Yeah.
just have a tin fish review Instagram. I don't know.
I'm gonna follow them.
this might be a different.
But also,
person.
you were you really connected with this one conversation with me that never actually happened.
This imaginary conversation with you because you know what? I felt like we connected on a tin fish level.
We do. We just didn't know it yet.
But the fact that you love tin fish, I feel like this had to have been you.
It might have been the only other bald guy with a beard in our hall.
Might have been- I'm gonna ask Phil after this
I
is
feel
I
done.
love tin fish.
What did you do today?
What did I do today?
I got home and you were napping.
Oh, I took a nap today and I woke up like craving tuna fish, which I don't know. Is that weird?
No, that sounds great.
Okay, so I got up and made tuna and just ate a can of tuna.
Is it just a can?
Tin
Well,
fish?
yeah. How do you make your tuna?
I put mayonnaise, mustard, pickles, and pickled jalapeno in it.
I like pickles, but I don't put it on my tuna fish. I just like mayonnaise, a little bit of mustard, and salt. That's it.
I've always done lemon and mayo, and that's it.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'll do onion and celery and cucumber and stuff like that. But you know, I tried this great tuna recipe. It's with capers and it's olive oil based
I've had it like that. So good.
with parsley. Oh my god!
Have you had apple in your? Let's bring it back around, guys. Have you ever put apple
No.
in your tuna?
My gut reaction is that sounds awful.
It's amazing. You have to try it.
What apple are you putting in?
I don't remember the kind of apple, but Becky Bank is the one that made it for me when we first moved here. I'd never had it before, and we were out in service, and we stopped at her house for lunch, and she put apple in her tuna, and I was like, "This is incredible." I would have never thought to do that. So good.
Because I'll do that with canned chicken.
Yeah.
Like if I'm making like a canned chicken situation, I'll do like apple and walnuts and cranberries.
Well, how
Yeah.
different could that be than tuna? Like,
The difference between chicken and tuna to me seems pretty wide.
I mean, like a white, like tuna fish, like in a can is pretty much like a white meat, and chicken is a white
They
meat.
call it the chicken of the sea.
It's the chicken of the sea. So how would apple be that much different in tuna than it is in chicken?
Maybe it's the fishiness that's throwing me off. It's the I'm not a fruit and fish person. I love fruit, love fish. I keep them separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about you try it and report
Okay.
back? Because
Okay, I'll let you know.
I feel like you would like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know me pretty well.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
You'll have an opinion, that's for sure.
I will. I'll text you guys.
Okay.
I'll make it for Matt's family.
There you go.
Well,
Well,
this was fun.
thanks for
This
joining.
was
Yes.
fun.
Thank you for being willing to come on and share your apple opinions with us.
Of course, anytime. If you want to talk tin fish,
So let's do a tin fish follow up. We'll get Melissa up to speed on everything apple and tin fish,
And we'll get your opinion on the apple in tuna fish.
and I'm
that'll
gonna
be the opener
Yeah.
to link them.
Yeah.
go ask Phil if he had a conversation with you about tin fish. All right. So our songs for the week, Izzy, what do you got for us? 1 to 3 songs.
I was thinking about this. It is on my running playlist actually. It's for my slower runs. It's my one song. I only picked one. It's "When You Lose Someone" by The Dip.
When You Lose Someone by The Dip. All
Yeah.
right. We're gonna add it to the list.
What?
And you
Why
just
do you
really-
love that song?
Yeah. I think it's got this kind of old timey feel to it. Like it sounds really classic, like it's from an older band, maybe from like the '60s, but it's not. It's a modern, and I think that that's kind of coming back now as the old fashioned sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy finding like little artists that are replicating the classics, you know.
Cool. I'll check it out. Chelsea, what do you got?
Can I go last?
Yeah. I'm gonna do I Shall Be Released by Nina Simone
Oh,
because Bob Dylan's my favorite songwriter, probably. He wrote that song, but like many of his songs, someone else did it better. And in that case, it's Nina Simone. That song's amazing, her voice, her feeling. So credit to Bob Dylan, but also her for putting her her stamp on it. So I Shall Be Released.
awesome.
Let's see.
Okay, I think I'm gonna do because we just heard this song. I can't remember who sang it, but This Woman's Work.
This Woman's Work.
Yeah. Do you remember who sang? We were listening to it, and I was like, "Oh, Greg Glaswell." Oh, it was Kate Bush. So
Kate Bush.
originally, I'm pretty sure it was Kate Bush that sang it, but I like the Greg Glaswell version, so that's the one.
All right. Cool.
That's it.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you guys. This was fun.
It was.
Bye.
Well, I can't wait for part 2.
Part
Oh,
2.
yeah.
Canfish.
I'm gonna send you exactly who I'm thinking of, just FYI.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool.
Bye, guys.